Building a startup in 500 days, day 257. So I finally resubmitted the app to the App Store today. I had to do a few fixes. I had to add the ability to report content because there's user generated content on the app. And then I had to add the ability to filter out objectionable content, which is essentially like mute users. I actually already did have that in, but they made a note of it in the submission or in the review, so I just made it a little bit more clear, and now you can actually do it from the feed directly. And then I had to add new screenshots. Basically, I was using Figma mockups that were a little bit outdated, I can't lie, so they said they had to be more attuned to what the app actually looks like. So I actually just made a few new accounts with like fresh profile pictures and stuff, just so we don't use anyone's actual content on the App Store. And took some screenshots that I put on. The hard part though is that you needed screenshots from in Apple, like the old iPhones that don't have the full screen and they have the bars up top and the bottom. And apparently, if you're using Xcode, I guess is like some native dev thing for the App Store, you can export those previews. But since I'm using Bubble, I could not figure it out. And because I was using Canva to try to map the screenshots directly to the dimensions, but this one, like, I couldn't resize the other screenshots or else it would get all messed up. So that actually took me a while to figure out how to do. But what I did was I had it on the desktop on my browser and I like diminished the screen super small and took a screenshot of that and then tried to blow it up in Canva, and it is the correct dimension, so it allowed me to submit, but it was a little bit jank, so we'll see. That might be a detriment in terms of my app submission. Fingers crossed though, it'd be huge to actually get it live. And then had our weekly day-to-day sesh with Stan and Zach today. We decided it was kind of a question of, do we prioritize next the mobile experience or this added permissions experience, like filtering by category? I think I mentioned that in one of the past videos. What we decided was to prioritize mobile experience because, I mean, this is for artist managers, right? And a lot of the day to day is on the fly, which is actually like a feature in the app in the tool. So it actually seems kind of ridiculous to to have an offering that doesn't have an app because it's probably going to be used mainly on app. So like that's kind of just part of the product. So after that call, I had like kind of an idea of what we might be able to do, but I spent a lot of the afternoon getting like a quick V1 out. So I sent it actually to Stan and Zach tonight, which is just like it's just on mobile browser, but just to get a sense so that they can get some feedback, we can iterate on it, and hopefully maybe by the end of this week we can have like a little bit of a better idea of how we want to go about the app. But I mean, it was kind of hype because a lot of the functionality is already built, so it wasn't that hard to make. It's just going to be a balance of like how can we keep it super simple and not overwhelm people on the mobile where there's not as much room, but also still have the value prop of, you know, like the permissions, the organization, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. And then I was cranking all weekend on, I don't know if I've mentioned this in one of the videos, I think I did, but this new kind of blog site to house the case studies. So I'm sessioning tomorrow with Stan on that. And yeah, because we want to merge that with the newsletter. I don't know. He created this actually pretty hype GPT model that is essentially like AI powered artist interviews where it, like take Taylor Swift, for example, right? Like the GPT asks questions and or sorry, you ask questions of the GPT and the GPT responds almost as like they're Taylor Swift in the first person and cites their sources. It essentially like pulls from articles, which is kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I mean, I was talking to Miranda on Sunday because we were talking about newsletter stuff, and we might actually just merge with like the existing newsletter base I have from the past startup. But like maybe there is something actually cool. Like maybe the case studies is a future thing we evolve to, but right now this thing he's built is actually really cool as is. If we do kind of we frame it as it's like an AI powered interview or something. Obviously that would have to sound cooler, but it actually might be kind of interesting to read almost like a first person Taylor Swift thing. I don't think there'd be anything legally there or anything. I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have if like it's noticed in that way. But yeah, like as long as we preface that it is an AI thing and there are sources, it's almost just like consolidating information that's already out there online and making it into a first person, um, like di- digestible interview. Kind of interesting. So we'll see. Yeah, session on that on Wednesday, and then I don't know because we're using Beehive for the newsletters, the plan, and they also have, it seems like, a kind of desktop experience too where you can see all the articles and newsletters. So it makes me wonder, do we even want to build out a whole kind of blog platform for these, or do we just want to host it in Beehive and then have the app, the site just be more of a marketing site for the app? I don't know. We shall see. More will be revealed later this week because I'm talking to Stan on Wednesday, and then I think Miranda again later this week. So we'll see. Overall solid day, following journey. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.